It's later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeart app. I'm Mark Rahner. This is the Rahner Report. We're going to lighten things up for just a few minutes. Tonight, we talk about weapons, and I don't want to tell you too much about weapons, which is awkward in a movie review. But I'll say this up front. It is a slow-burning horror mystery. It took me a while to calm down after it, and it's going on my best of the year list. Also, it doesn't stay slow. I think I actually yelled in the theater during the final act. Here is some of the trailer.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
Let's just leave that right there. I don't want to tell you too much. The story, as you heard, revolves around the disappearance of all but one little kid from a third grade class. 17 of the children just abruptly walk out of their homes at 2:17 a.m. and nobody has any idea what the hell happened or where they went. And as they're people's children, it puts the whole town on edge and puts plenty of suspicion on the teacher, played by Julia Garner, who we just saw as the Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four: First Steps. And if you think parents are obnoxious, entitled, control freak Karens at PTA meetings, just wait till their kids actually disappear. We see events through the teacher's eyes and then through the eyes of a handful of other characters, but it's not repetitive, like, say, Rashomon or one of those irritating time loop stories. It does require a little patience. And I thought during the movie at one point, I'm not sure where this is going, which is fine, especially compared to the formula crap we're usually given, but it better pay off. It was late and I was cranky. And it does pay off. If there was a camera on the audience, I'd like to see how wide my eyes were during the movie's climax. Not to say the journey there is dull on the way. It's deliberate, but creepy, filled with dread, punctuated by some shocks and some violence. By the time things hit the fan, I felt very expertly manipulated. Like getting off a roller coaster and wanting to high-five the carny at the controls and maybe tip him an extra $20 for some meth. You earned it, bro. Josh Brolin plays the dad of one of the missing kids. Benedict Wong from the Marvel movies plays the school principal. Alden Ehrenreich plays a local cop with a connection to Garner's teacher. Nobody in the movie who'd get most people off their ass individually to go to the theater. I mean, you don't hear a lot of people say, honey, I got us tickets to the new Ehrenreich movie. Cancel all our other plans. And you wouldn't do that for the new Zach Kreger movie either. Zach who, you're asking? He's the writer and the director, but I think a lot of people are going to watch out for his stuff after this movie. He did a very respectable little thriller called Barbarian in 2022 and was one of the creators of a show called The Whitest Kids You Know, which is a comedy. This is a leap ahead of Barbarian in the same way that Bring Her Back by the Philippou brothers was a leap ahead of their Talk to Me movie. The stealing and or harming of kids is one of those taboos that cuts right through everyone's cynicism and know-it-all ennui and politics and culture war garbage. Any threat to your kids will turn even the mellowest Zen people instantly into either the Wolverine or Lawrence O'Donnell. It's why the horrific Epstein case isn't disappearing, especially the more we find out about it. Somewhere around 90% of all Americans want those files released, and you can't usually get that kind of agreement about puppies or kitties or black olives on pizza. In fact, okay. In the Fantastic Four movie, Garner wanted to take Reed and Sue's baby and give it to Galactus. And that is when things started hitting the fan. It's something of a horror staple. And Stephen King's Storm of the Century came to mind more than once during Weapons, but just as maybe a distant cousin. Weapons does have some King DNA running through it, though. I should add, there's humor in the movie, but it's deftly integrated into the story, and it isn't a horror comedy coming. It comes mainly from the behaviors of the people in this little town. In that way, Weapons is an antidote to stuff like that idiotic Final Destination film we talked about here not long ago. Not every single thing is answered by the end of the movie, but enough is, and that kind of has the effect of making you feel like one of the characters whose POV shapes the chapters. I thought it was clever. None of them likely has 100% of the picture, but they know when their life's in danger and the only thing to grab nearby is a potato peeler. That's right, a potato peeler. So you've got that to look forward to. And that elliptical structure really makes the movie. It's the work of a world-class tease who knows when to stop teasing and, how do I say this and remain employed? Bring the hammer down. If you try to imagine the story just playing out chronologically after you've seen the movie, it either doesn't work or might seem kind of silly, as opposed to a large dread sandwich washed down with a pint of holy crap. I haven't said anything about the central performance in the movie or who gives it because I want you to be as surprised as I was. I'll say it's something that could have tipped into SNL skit territory, but wound up being creepy and chilling and still might pop up on SNL. Think maybe like Nicolas Cage in that recent Long Legs movie. It does shift the movie into more Tales from the Crypt territory in the final act, which is as close as I'm going to get to spoiling anything at all for you. However, you should get a ring cam and put microchips in your kids until they're 21, just to be on the safe side. Glowing recommendation, Mo, 5 potato peelers. And just one more thing. Following our ongoing conversation about all the commercials and previews the theater chains are inflicting on us, it was a half hour after the listed start time that the movie actually started playing. What are we doing here? There's your Rahner report.
Go ahead and toss.
To me?
Toss to yourself.
You want me? That's your job. What are you getting paid for?
Oh, I was too busy trying to make sure we crossed the $50,000 threshold for Stefan.